Hey guys, Savage Joy. I am back with a second show tonight. I am just gonna type this here because my name never shows up when I go live by myself. All right, there we go. So I wanted to do another show just because I'm so fucking pissed and frustrated and hurt and stressed and just about the whole Biden thing and the whole blame Bernie, even though it has absolutely nothing to do with him thing. Twitter is something I avoided until January. I always avoided it because I would see screenshots of people that were just so ugly and so mean and, and would just say such hateful things. So I was like, I'm never doing Twitter. Like, fuck that. I'm just going to stay on Facebook regardless of it being antiquated. But then January came and I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I have a show. I've done over 300 episodes. I can't just limit myself to Facebook. Real Progressives has a Twitter too. So I gotta just, suck it up and do a Twitter. Well, I have found that my fears were realized. There are so many ugly people on Twitter. It's absolutely incredible. Now, granted, you find some ugly people on Facebook, but Twitter is a whole other animal. So Friday, news comes out about Biden. Anyone who has ever seen any videos of Biden, we know he's a fucking weirdo. He likes to sniff women and kids. It's odd. It's weird. It's creepy. If he did it to me, I would fucking flip. So, the fact that someone finally came out about it, I was really happy. Oh my God, this shit's finally gonna get addressed. This is awesome. Never did Lucy ever once say the word rape, sexually harassed, anything like that. However, the Biden fan apologists have been putting it in her words and saying she said she was sexually assaulted, and she said she was, no, she actually didn't. She said that he invaded her space. He made her uncomfortable. And I mean, why is this woman not allowed to say this? I mean, I don't understand. Why can we not say, we don't like when you come up behind us? And I mean, I don't understand. And the amount of women who are defending Biden is blowing my mind. I would say women to men is like 80-20. I would say the people I argue with the most, absolutely hands down, are women. Now, let's just think for a minute that Biden had an R next to his name. I mean, he kind of is a Republican if you look at his history. But anyway, let's say he was, in fact, literally a Republican. Would this be cool? Would this be okay to them? Because I kind of feel like they'd lose their shit. So, it's just, I mean, I knew there were going to be some apologists because, Uncle Joe, even though that's so creepy, that name is just gross. But I don't understand why people can watch those videos of the way he is with women and children and not feel like that's invasive and disturbing. It's really gross. Like, and, you know, Jeffrey, you're right, because, you know, one of the things that I've found so much is that people who didn't care about Hillary being married to a rapist and her bullying all 13 of Bill's accusers are not going to care about Biden. I mean, it's so disturbing. But these women who are defending Biden all have Me Too, resist, you know, all this shit, you know, in their bios. And I'm like, oh my God, resist what? Resist sticking up for Democratic women? It's literally, I don't know if your story's valid. Who'd you vote for in 2016? I'll decide based on that. That's what it's come to. So Lucy comes out and she says that he made her feel uncomfortable. Now Joe releases a statement. There is not an apology in this statement. There is nothing but deflecting and basically essentially trying to, you know, trying to deflect any attention from him, just like when someone asked him about Anita Hill last week. He put it on, I wish there would have been something I could do. Bitch, there could have been something you could have done. You could have let those 4 witnesses she had scheduled actually testify, but you blocked them. So and these people fall for it. That's what kills me. It's not just that Biden is trash, it's that these people enable him. And I just keep thinking, you know, I really, really hope these people don't procreate. And the sad thing is, a lot of these women have kids. And I just think, oh my God. So if somebody comes up and, you know, and makes your child feel uncomfortable, are you just going to say, well, it wasn't rape? Is that what it is? I mean, is everything about comparison? Because when it seems like whenever anyone says anything about Biden, there are always people in the thread that say, well, we have someone in the White House who said, grab her by the pussy. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Can we not have more than one sexual creep? Can't we? I mean, is it like, does Trump just own that label and nobody else can have it? I mean, it's so incredible to me that anyone else gets a pass because they have set the bar so low to think that it's Trump and anything better than Trump is acceptable. That's disgusting. That's not okay. I have actually only since Friday, I have blocked one guy. One. That's it. And it was just because he was, you know, not because we disagreed, but because he was, you know, just being mean. So anyway, but the amount of women who have been straight up just ugly, you know, bullying, whatever, that I've blocked is fucking insane. It's so crazy. You know, women, you know, so many of these like pussy hat wearing women just like hate guys simply because they have a penis. Period. Like, you have a penis, I hate you. Period. I don't care what about anything else. All I know is you're a man, I hate you. So many of them are like that, but at the same time, I am finding so many men who get it, who absolutely get it, and say, why would you do that to a woman? This isn't about sexual assault. This is about invading someone's personal space. This is about making people feel uncomfortable. Why do so many guys get this and women don't? This whole thing has been so disheartening. It really has. It's been, I can't say I'm shocked, because, you know, we all saw the Bill Clinton, you know, apologists and things like that. But, you know, and don't get me wrong, there rape of Blasey Ford and smelling hair and coming up behind a woman and kissing their head. I'm not equating that with Blasey Ford's attempted rape. I'm not. However, what I am going to compare is the reaction. These women literally sound like Trump supporters. They do. Because what they're saying is, look at the timing. This has to be an opportunist. It has to be when he's about to run for office. Pretty sure they said the same thing about Kavanaugh. Or, you know, I mean, they are saying the same exact shit. What about when the million times they said and hashtag believe all women? They are slandering this woman, Lucy. It's just incredible. They are slandering this woman. You're always going to have a couple, but they are putting words in her mouth. They are totally just bullying her. They are trying to dig up absolutely anything possible on her. Now there are 4 women who have come forward. 4. They are all being bullied. You know, the thing about the first one with Lucy, she has a picture with a selfie with Bernie from 2016, literally 3 years ago. Oh my God. Fuck it. That started it all. How dare she have a picture with Bernie? It literally unfolded into this ridiculous, abhorrent conspiracy theory with 0 receipts and 0. It makes no sense. It seriously makes no sense. They're trying to say that Bernie and his campaign are behind Lucy coming forward. So we'll just you know, we'll just go step by step. So, okay, Lucy worked for Our Revolution. They had a falling out. She resigned. She has not talked to Bernie since. They were not on good terms, her and our Rev. I guess she still respects him. She still had the picture up. Okay, whatever. That picture meant, even though it was 3 years old, and even though she is no longer affiliated with Our Revolution or Bernie, it meant that every neolib apologist Biden lover was going to screenshot where it showed she was on the board of Our Revolution from over a year ago, cut out the date, and starts sharing it. So, of course, people do not do research. I mean, progressives do. We do, because we actually know how to do research and try to decipher what's real and what's bullshit, as any intelligent people do. However, there's just tons of sheeple and people who are just looking for, you know, some gossip and anything anything they can absolutely fathom to destroy the person they want to lose. So it's so crazy. I just, to blame someone who has nothing to do with this, not a single person can provide a receipt, proof, anything about Bernie having anything to do with this, except Lucy has a selfie with him. Well, guess what? Lucy also has a selfie with Bill Clinton. Ooh. And also, the second woman who came forward worked for Hillary. And she runs all the Hillary Facebook groups. And she actually loved, is a devout Hillary supporter, is a Bernie basher. She canceled her flight to go to an event because she found out Bernie was going to be there. She hates Bernie. She's devout Hillary. And she's the second woman who came out. Yet, they're still focusing on Lucy because she has a photo 3 years old with Bernie. Thank you, Jay. Yes, you're correct. Yeah, something I don't really like is when somebody comes on my show's comments and tells me what I should be talking about, because you can talk whatever about whatever you want when you have a show, and if you do have a show while you're doing your show, but this is my time, and if you don't want to watch, you don't have to. But anyway, I'm going to continue, so I'm good. So anyway, now it's gotten to the point where articles are coming out with no receipts, no facts, no nothing about how Bernie is behind this. Now, this is slander. This is absolutely 100% slander. If Bernie wanted to, he could sue them. That's how bad this is. It's disgusting. People are saying, oh my God, I can't believe you're saying this about Joe. You're hurting a perfectly innocent man. Actually, you're dragging Bernie into it, even though he had nothing to do with it. So if anyone's hurting a man that doesn't deserve it, it's Bernie. There are receipts of decades of Joe breathing in hair and shit like that. It's so gross. I think, and now so like I said, there's 4 women now. So the most recent 2, they're attacking the hell out of them too. And here, one of my friends on Twitter said something really important. She stated that Lucy is a Hispanic woman of color, and the last 2 women to come forward are African American. The 3 of them are getting the most shit. So I guess I'm kind of, I'm with the friend who posted this. Why is it that people are, Kevin, I'm not sure what you're doing here. There's actually something called slander and libel. And yes, you can sue for that. I'm actually a journalist, so trust me, I kind of know. But, I mean, feel free to research. Anyway, so, oh, there will be more, Adam, absolutely. But I commend any woman who is coming forward, because there is no such thing as, as coming out and saying these things without getting bullied. Unfortunately, there just isn't. These women are being brave, and they are literally just sharing, a paragraph, X amount of characters of something that, made them uncomfortable, something that upset them. And they are being attacked for doing it. What happened to don't try to silence women? What happened to believe a woman when she says, when she's coming forward? What happened to don't try to stifle a woman's voice? These are things that women have preached forever and are now doing to each other. It's garbage to be like, you know what? This is only good if it's a Republican. If it's a Democrat, we're not going to hold them accountable. That's the only thing they're resisting. They're not resisting shit except accountability. Nick, I'm trying different strategies. I'm trying so hard. Nick wants to know, oh, okay, guys, maybe someone can handle Kevin because he's just really distracting, and I'm not even sure what he's spewing. So I think your name was Nick. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yes. So you wanted advice on what to say to people who are just like not getting it. And, I'm trying different kind of strategies, but it's like, damn, like, I don't know. I cater it to the people themselves. And usually it's, I usually go to their profiles, to be honest with you. I usually go right to their profiles, and they usually have peace signs or stronger together or unity. So I just kind of screenshot that and post it in the response. I'm usually sarcastic when I can be, but sometimes there have been, times the past few days when I have just been just so disgusted and so upset. And I think back to when, Bernie in February, when he was on the Breakfast Club, he made a statement that deciding whether or not to run again was one of the hardest decisions he's ever had to make in his life. And he brought up his family and how difficult it was to decide. He said he knew he's very aware of what they, slandered him with in 2016 and everything like that. And he knew it would be worse this time. And I can't watch that clip again. It seriously made me ugly cry. Because I thought, this dude does not need to run. He doesn't need to. But he is. Because he knows that he's the only one who's going to push this agenda. He's the only one with decades of receipts and the history of creating the legislation. And he's the one that planted the seed in so many other candidates who are now trying to be like him. He's the one. So he's running to try and help us. He's sacrificing himself. That's just, that's just fact. No, I'm not a Bernie worshiper. I criticize him. Trust me, I criticize him. But I'm going to be honest when I say that he does not need to run. He could have retired 13 years ago, and he didn't, because he's still fighting for the things we desperately need. So he knew what he was in for. My fear is that something like this was going to happen, but my fear started way before now. I'm not sure how many of you guys are Bernie supporters or how many of you guys knew or remember this, but about a year ago, there were separate instances, and I don't even think these women were connected in any way. I think they're just all disgusting. But these posts started coming up where women were saying that they were going to lie and say Bernie touched them inappropriately. One woman stated that she was going to take out a Craigslist ad. And another woman said that it would only take 8 people to get him kicked out of the Senate and never be able to run again. And they were like, do you know the number to call? Things like that. I have all the screenshots of these things. They were literally planning to make up false accusations about Bernie. That was my fear about him running again, because they will and are trying everything. And that's like the one thing that, you know, he wouldn't be able to overcome. And as we're seeing that people don't do research. We're seeing that people's posts are good as gold. I could say something against Bernie and it will be shared 1,000 times in the next half hour. It does not matter if it's true. Doesn't matter. Once it's stated, it's fact to people. So that terrifies me, and I always think back to that. So the fact that these same people are saying that Bernie must be behind this when they are the ones who literally threaten to make stuff up about Bernie is inconceivable. Talk about minimizing what women have been through by making something up. You know, you're seeing a lot of women who are saying, you know, this isn't what Me Too was about. This Me Too is for rape and sexual assault. Actually, Me Too is anytime a woman feels uncomfortable. How about that? Me Too is anytime a guy doesn't know how to fucking respect people's space. You know, I'm not saying this is the same thing, but for example, something I was thinking about today that really, really just has always bothered me. I have, of course, a lot of tattoos. I have sleeves. I continuously have people walk up behind me and put their hand on my back and put their hand on my arms. And they're like, oh, I like your ink. It's a compliment. I understand it's a compliment, but I don't know you. And you're coming up behind me and putting your hands on me. It makes you go, like, it startles you. They don't mean anything by it, but it's invasive and it gives chills. Like, it's just not a good feeling. And, you know, I am literally the biggest hugger in the entire universe. I'm very affectionate, but I like the ability to have that eye contact and acknowledge we're going to hug, you know. I'm not necessarily a fan of people touching me who I don't know, and especially coming up behind me. So that bothers me, but also the sniffing thing, the sniffing thing is honestly just so disturbing. I cannot fathom standing next to someone. I don't care if he's the VP. I don't care who the hell he is. I cannot fathom standing next to someone and having them stick their nose in my ear and smell me. I just got goosebumps thinking about that. That is so fucking bizarre. I, you know, I guess I don't, maybe I'm just, you know, you're right. Consent is essential. A lot of people are saying, I don't know what his intent was. What the fuck does that matter? Who cares? I don't give a shit if what his intent was. He made someone feel uncomfortable. I mean, and to people, to people who, say, why didn't she speak up earlier? You sound like Trump supporters. Okay, so let's put this into perspective. You're on stage with 100 cameras, millions of people watching. You're live. You're standing next to the vice president. Your husband and kids are on stage. The vice president does something uncomfortable. Are you going to stand there in front of all those cameras and all those people and be like, you just touched me? Really? Are you serious? I would be impressed if someone did that. But people have to acknowledge there's a certain kind of shock that goes into it when something like that happens. You're not immediately like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? You are in this moment when you're just confused. Did that really happen? That didn't just happen. No way. I'm making more out of it than it was. I shouldn't be uncomfortable about that. He's the vice president, and you go through these stages of like, should that have bothered me? Shouldn't have. And then by the time you get home, you're like, I can't come out and say anything about this. It's the fucking vice president. So people saying that, why didn't she come out sooner? Has she been welcomed right now? I'm surprised she came out at all. I mean, they're destroying her. They are ripping her to shreds for being brave. Why the hell would you come out? I'll be straight up. I know my name is Savage Joy. I know people tell me I'm strong and this and that. I would never come out right now, ever, and say shit. Because people are just bullying and attacking those who did. So these 4 women who came out are so brave. I can't even fathom how brave they are to do this because they knew what they were in for. This isn't about trying to stifle, Biden's campaign. I don't know one Bernie supporter who would have voted for his ass. None of us like him. His history alone is abhorrent. We never would have voted for him anyway. People act like this is some huge, thing, like we're going to take him down. No, he's gross. Like his whole history, he bullied Anita Hill. He wouldn't let her witnesses testify. He still has yet to apologize for that. He's racist as hell. I mean, all of these things, we're not, lacking a candidate and by finding this out. This is something we have all known for so many years. I mean, if you go to my Twitter feed, you will see articles from Time Magazine, USA Today from years ago saying Biden needs to learn how to step back when he talks to people. And people are trying to make it sexual and say Lucy even came out and said, I didn't say the word sexual assault. I didn't say the word rape. I'm saying that he made me uncomfortable. I feel like he shouldn't have been so in my face. And why does she not have the right to say that? I mean, beating up on a woman who is brave enough to come out against Biden is just so gross. I mean, shit, the second woman who came out is a huge Hillary person. Huge Hillary person. And she has all over her Twitter feed Bernie bashing. But guess who's sticking up for her? Burners. We're the ones all over her page sticking up for her and saying, you're brave. Thank you. We're here for you. Because that's who we are as a movement. We're not the kind of women who just sit there and say, well, he's a Dem. We ain't gonna do that. You know, it says a lot about our movement that, you know, so many burners have been so kind to the women who have spoken out, even, you know, even the one who is, you know, a Hillary lover, Bernie basher, because that's not what this is about. But the fact that, you know, these women are getting bullied, it's affecting a lot of us. You know, Jenna, I struggle with that as well. My girl Jenna, you know, brought up the parents of the kids on the video. I will bet money that I don't have, but I'll bet money that one of those parents will never come out, ever. I don't think you will ever hear from a single one of those parents. So I don't see it happening. I don't see them. I think part of it is maybe they wouldn't want to put them in the spotlight again, but they already are. To be quite honest with you guys, I'm getting really uncomfortable with all of the constant memes and videos getting shared 24/7. I mean, people on my Twitter are sharing the same pictures and videos, and it makes me sick. I can't watch them anymore. I can't. Like, I understand if people want to put them in a thread because people are like, you know, saying Joe's a good, you know, a good guy or whatever, but I just can't. Like, it's so upsetting to just continuously see those. Yeah, Andy, you know, he hasn't announced yet, but, and please tell me in the comments what your thoughts are, but I'm telling you, I still think he's going to run. I really do. I really do. White old men, rich, entitled white men have a hubris that they feel invincible. They feel like they've done nothing wrong. They acknowledge they've done nothing wrong. And they don't accept responsibility. Therefore, I honestly do think Biden will still run. I hope he doesn't, but, and I think it'll be really, I tweeted at Obama yesterday and said, hey, Obama, anything on your mind? He hasn't gotten back to me, but I'm just kind of wondering, why isn't Obama speaking up? Why aren't you speaking up for your boy? Because he's kind of fucked either way. You know, he sticks up for him and said, you know, and says, hey, he's never done anything wrong, even though there's tons of video. Or he says, yeah, what he did is inappropriate. And the world goes apeshit because their god Obama just dissed Joe Biden. So you know, one of the people getting roasted the most, deservedly, is Alyssa Milano. I've known she's been fake since the get, because she posts like, Bill Clinton, it's not even funny how much I love you. And then she talks, you know, she goes Me Too movement crazy and all this. And it's like, yeah, Bill's an accused rapist, but okay. So yesterday she wrote this like huge long thread about how inspiring Biden is and how he's been, you know, he's been a great, you know, a great person for the women's movement and all this stuff. And I've met him and he's never done this. And it was so disgusting. And you know, one of the most infuriating things is when I met him and he didn't do that to me. Okay, so what's your point? I mean, God, my head is just, I feel like I have a million things on my mind because it's just so infuriating. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like I felt a sense of relief when Lucy came forward on Friday. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's going to finally like hold him accountable. And I was expecting some backlash, but I didn't think it would be as bad. I mean, who the hell is like, oh, Joe Biden got, you know, accused of, you know, making a woman feel uncomfortable. Bernie! Damn, Bernie! What? What does that have to do with anything? So in order to protect, you know, their dude who they just love, they're going to throw in the most popular candidate with the most money raised and over 1 million volunteers and say that, hey, guess what? Bernie had something to do with it. It just makes sense. I challenge every one of you to ask for receipts every single time somebody says Bernie has something to say with it, something to do with this, because no one has given anything. Bernie's campaign spoke out today, his campaign manager, and said, you know, that it makes my blood boil, and, you know, went on to say that they unequivocally had nothing to do with it. I am wondering where our campaign's famous supporters are, to come out and say how Bernie would never do that. Right now, it seems like it's only us, as in, you know, his supporters. But, you know, people like Alyssa Milano are coming out. You know, you got the Deborah Messings, you got Nancy Pelosi, you got Feinstein, and oh my God, I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but Nancy Pelosi and Joe Manchin acted out how Biden hugs people. They acted it out. Now, it's not on video, but they said they did. And the journalist said they did. Like, he's like, and then she goes over, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna barf. Like, ew. So, yeah, I know my mind's all over the place. But yeah, you're right. It is going to be harder this time. It already is. It's a culmination of 2016 and then also new stuff as well. Today an article came out that said Bernie Sanders is Trump of the left. I'm not really sure how. They're both guys. But I found that one, particularly egregious considering, Bernie's a Jewish man who lost his family to the Holocaust, and people call Trump a Nazi, but I guess they didn't see the problem with that. There are continuous smears, and it's usually Democrats doing it. They are incredibly threatened by him, and we have to keep fighting. It's not easy, and the past few days I've been like, fuck this. Like, I'm not putting up with this anymore. Like, and you feel defeated, and you're like, what's the point? They're just gonna rig it again anyway. So, but at the same time, like, we have a responsibility to those who are hurting. We have a responsibility to stand up for those who need Medicare for all, and who need a Green New Deal, and who need a federal job guarantee, and things like that. We have to keep fighting for those, who are counting on us. So thanks for watching, you guys. Yeah, I'm reading the comments, and like, I agree with all of you so much. It's a lot to try and deal with. And we're not even close to primaries yet. So this is going to get interesting. I already feel like I've freaking aged 25 years. So thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be interviewed on Tina Desiree's show. I had her on here once, and now I'm going on her show tomorrow. We're going to be talking about just the election period. So we'll get into, all the candidates and everything. I'll post it on the Real Progressives page after it airs. Also, if you haven't seen my appearance on Humanist Report, absolutely watch it. It was the highlight of my friggin' life. It was such an honor to go on it. Mike's a beautiful man. So tomorrow night I'll be on Tina's podcast. I wanted to tell you guys to check out on Twitter. I have it posted. There's a the Twitter tag is The Hill of Roses. THEHILLOFROSES. They are doing a poll for political podcasts, and I am currently tied for second. I need to be in first or second place in order to continue on in the contest. So please vote. It's on my Twitter page. So I'm like tied at second, so I need some more votes so I can stay in the contest. But yeah, you'll find it on my page, and if you can't, just add me on Twitter and I can tag you. It's Savage Joy Marie 1. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm sure I'll be back one day this week to complain about something else. Thank you guys so much. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, it'd be cool for us to get, you know, some more exposure like that. You know, some of the people I'm up against, I'm like, what? Why am I even in with these people who like I've watched for years? There's also one for Real Progressives as a whole. It's two under me. There's sections of four because it's set up like a March Madness. So the two under me, there's one with Real Progressives as a whole. So please vote on that as well. So no, I don't want to be president. I don't want to be president. No, no, no. No, don't even joke about that. Oh my God. I'll deflect and hand it to Bernie. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sending you all love and take care. Have a good night.